The next president of the United States, John McCain.
Thank you. Thank you, Rob. Thank you all. Thank you all. By the way, one of the greatest thrills of my entire life as a mediocre high school athlete, 2 years ago, I flipped a coin at the Ohio State-Florida football game. And the Buckeyes will be back, my friends. That's twice. The third time will be the charm. I want to assure you that they will be. So we're not going to leave you behind. We're going to unleash the innovative and entrepreneurial spirit and strength of this state, and we're going to embrace these technologies, which brings me to the next point, and I'm not going to take a lot of your time today because I'm so grateful you're here. My friends, we have the nexus of two dire problems in America. I'm sure you saw. I am without a doubt. I know that you saw that the price of oil went over $100 a barrel recently. I know that I'm sure you know that right now we are sending $400 billion a year to foreign countries to buy oil, and what do we get in return? These are countries that don't like us. Some of that money ends up in the hands of terrorist organizations. My friends, we cannot continue to be dependent on foreign oil. Half of our trade deficit is because of foreign oil. So we have another issue, and that's the issue of greenhouse gas emissions. My friends, I believe that climate change, today I do not use the words global warming, but I do believe climate change is real. I believe, let me put it to you this way about climate change. Suppose that we are wrong and we embrace these green technologies. All we have done is given our kids a cleaner planet. But suppose we are right, suppose we are right and greenhouse gas emissions need to be curbed and we do nothing. Then obviously we don't want to give our children a damaged planet and our grandchildren. So we can eliminate our dependence on foreign oil. We can eliminate greenhouse gas emissions over time. And by the way, there would be no agreement unless China and India were part of it. But the fact is that we can do it. We can do it with these new technologies, with these green technologies, whether it be wind, solar, tide, all of these green technologies that are there because the innovative ability of America is the best in the world. And I would invest in pure research and development right here in the state of Ohio to develop these green technologies. You've got the academic and You've got the economic base, the technological base, the innovative base, and by the way, part of that is automobiles that will run for 100 miles on a battery. We will have hybrids, that hydrogen. There's an unlimited vistas for development of automobiles that run on green technologies for this nation, and obviously Ohio would play a big part in that as well. And by the way, I believe that nuclear power has to be part of this solution as well. And I would remind you, the United States Navy has sailed ships around the world for 60 years with nuclear power plants, and we've never had an accident. And I would like to also remind you, by the way, that the French, who we always imitate, 80% of their electricity is generated by nuclear power. And by the way, in case you missed it, we now have a pro-American president of France, which shows if you live long enough, anything can happen in the world and in America. So I'm very grateful to know that. So I'd like to say a word about our veterans, if I could, and then one more word with you. I'm always honored whenever veterans attend one of these gatherings. I'm always honored to be in the presence of those who have served and sacrificed. The other day I was at a town hall meeting and there was a veteran there who had served at Guadalcanal. It's remarkable to see these great Americans who I'm so honored by their presence and their support. But my friends, there's a problem. There's a problem, and you know it, and I know it. And that problem is veterans' health care. I'm going to fix veterans' health care in America, and we're going to make it so that they get what they have earned from the American people. Thank you. Now, very briefly, my friends, the VA is overstressed. The Armed Forces medical capabilities are overstressed, and we're going to need a lot of help for the victims or those who have been injured in this war in their courageous service to this nation. And my friends, PTSD is going to be a problem. These grievous wounds by these IEDs are going to be a problem. And we're going to have to care for those veterans. We're going to have to expand that capability. But let me tell you what complicates things very quickly. Any of our veterans here will tell you. Too often they have to drive for an hour to stand in line, to get an appointment, my friends, for a routine health care need. I'm going to give every one of those veterans a plastic card, and if they got a routine health care need, my friends, they can go to the doctor or the health care provider of their choice and get their health care needs taken care of and get it taken care of immediately. And that's what we need to do for our veterans. Could I just mention to you the war in Iraq? My friends, it's long, hard, and tough. It's been very difficult, and it has frustrated and saddened all of us. Enormous sacrifice has been made. We all know that. And you probably also know that I opposed the strategy that was failing and advocated as strongly as I could for the Petraeus strategy. And I'm telling you, it is succeeding. It is succeeding, and there's no doubt about that. And events... And the facts on the ground are very clear. They're indisputable. It's been long and hard and tough. Al-Qaeda, if you forget everything I say to you, please remember this. Al-Qaeda's on the run, but they're not defeated. And we've been gifted by a great leader in General Petraeus, one of the great leaders in American history. And I think he's the one whose recommendations should dictate when we withdraw troops, not some politician who is seeking higher office. So the Democrats will be having a debate tonight, Senator Obama and Senator Clinton, whom I respect. And you know what? They'll be falling all over each other as to how quickly they can set a date for withdrawal from Iraq. De facto surrender. De facto surrender. And my friends, they were wrong when they said that the surge would not succeed. It's succeeding. They were wrong when they said that the political process couldn't move forward. It is succeeding. And I'm not asking them to apologize. I'm asking them to put out their hand with us and support this strategy that's succeeding so we can have our young men and women. So that we will win, and these brave young Americans will come home, but they'll come home with honor, my friends. They'll come home with honor and not defeat. If we set a date for withdrawal, as they are advocating, Al-Qaeda trumpets to the world that they have defeated America. There's chaos, genocide. We'll be back, and there will be a much greater expenditure of American most precious blood and treasure. And my friends, I will not let that happen. I will never, ever, ever surrender to Al-Qaeda. I will never surrender. So, my friends, there was conversation in the last day or so about the effect on my campaign. My friends, I said when things were probably at their darkest that I would rather lose a campaign than lose a war. I meant that then, I mean it today. It is far more important. It is far, far more important, the struggle we're in, than any personal ambitions I might have. And I want to say that I'm running for president to help fix this economy, to help people keep their homes, to do the things that are necessary to fix Social Security and Medicare. But the major reason why I'm running is because I think that I am qualified by my experience, my knowledge, my background, and my judgment to take on the struggle against radical Islamic extremism. My friends, it is a transcendent evil. It is a transcendent evil. You may have seen just a few days ago that Al-Qaeda took 2 mentally disabled young women, put explosive devices on them, and sent them into a marketplace and detonated them by remote control. How evil? What's more evil than these people? And think of what they would do to us and our young men and women and our children. My friends, it is a transcendent evil and a challenge. And the leader of that, as you know, is a guy that lives someplace in Afghanistan or Pakistan. We aren't positive. And he gets out routinely a message of hate, of destruction. He recruits, he motivates, and he instructs these evil people and is an acknowledged leader. His name is Osama bin Laden. My friends, if I have to follow him to the gates of hell, I will get Osama bin Laden and bring him to justice. I will do that. And I know how. So could I say, my friends, that I understand the challenges that America faces, but I also have a great, abiding, incredible faith in this country. And when things were dark, and they have been from time to time in my political campaign, as you well know, every once in a while you have something happens. You have an experience or an incident that happens that puts everything in the proper priority in your life and helps you establish what's important and what isn't. And that happened to me last August at a town hall meeting in Wolfboro, New Hampshire. A woman stood up at the meeting and she said, "Senator McCain, will you do me the honor of wearing a bracelet with my son's name on it, Matthew Stanley?" Matthew Stanley was 22 years old. He was killed in combat outside of Baghdad just before Christmas last year. I said I would be honored to wear this bracelet, and I have. And then she said, "I want you to promise me just one thing, Senator McCain. I want you to promise me that you'll do everything in your power to make sure that my son's death was not in vain." Well, obviously that puts everything in the right priority. And I committed to Matthew Stanley's mother, and I'm committed to all Americans. I am committed to you that I will inspire a generation of Americans to serve a cause greater than their self-interest. That's the greatness and strength of America. And that's the strength and the greatness of the greatest nation ever to be on the face of this earth. The 20th century was called the American century because we made the world safe for democracy. We won 2 wars and a Cold War. The 21st century now faces us. We will make sure that the 21st century is also the American century, and we will, as Ronald Reagan used to call us, remain a shining city on a hill. Thank you very much, and thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. Thank you so much.